Hey all you cool cats and kittens, welcome to this week's episode of Dani and the DMs. Welcome to this week's episode. Good job, baby. I'm your host, Dani D, and I am an author, I'm a speaker, I am a voice and leadership coach, and I'm here to help you give less fucks, own your extra, and go bolder in your life, your business, and your relationships. This is a segment where you guys slide on into my DMs with a Q, and I give you an A. I give you an A+ for just being you, and then I also give you an answer to your question. How did you learn to speak with the same amount of authority online as you did in person? I have to be really honest, when I first started my business, I did not speak with a lot of authority online. I didn't even fully allow the world to see who I was. I was hiding behind a business name that is not my personal name. Now I go by Dani Druso or Danielle Druso. Before that, I was Strive and Shine YYC, and I was so scared for people to see my work, and I was so scared for people to not think that I was for real. So what I did is I started to follow all the trends. I wanted to hide behind that so that I'd be seen professionally. I hid behind a brand name for a really long time, and I was really afraid to show who I was online. I would be myself in person with people, and people loved my personality and they loved learning from me. But the minute that I got online, I got really shy in my content. And the reason why, for me personally, is because I cared so much about what other people thought of me. And I was so obsessed with how I would be perceived online by people who I loved and people from high school even. Like, I was so terrified of what they would say, or if they would discredit me, or if maybe I went super viral on the internet and then someone would discredit me saying that I didn't know enough to be able to do what I'm doing. And so I have a couple tips for you guys to claim your expertise and step into the leader that you were destined to be. So number one, know yourself and know your shit. This is one of my favorite principles to teach on, and it's really the practice of knowing yourself. So that means like actually knowing what you're good at, knowing your personality and your skill set and the stuff that actually makes you who you are, so that you can leverage that within your life and within your business. So if you don't really know yourself or know what you're good at or even understand what you have to bring to the table, you are going to have a really hard time speaking with authority. You're going to have a really hard time trying to tell people what you do. You're going to have a really hard time sharing your work with the world, because you're going to be like, well, I don't know, someone probably could do it better than me, or why am I even doing this in the first place, or I'm really passionate about it, but am I really qualified to do this, right? And a lot of times when we have that fear of being underqualified in any way, shape, or form, you're not a scam artist, because hello, if you were a scam artist, you wouldn't be really concerned with being underqualified, and you're normally comparing yourself to someone else. So when we start to know ourselves so deeply, we stop the comparison game in its tracks, because we don't focus on other people. We don't focus on what other people are good at. And that doesn't mean that you don't celebrate people, but you're not like hyper focused on what everyone else brings to the table in comparison of what you bring to the table. You just know yourself, and you know what you have to offer and what you are bringing to the table. The second thing is to know your shit. Okay, to know your shit is to know what you know. If you say you're a confidence coach, work your work. If you say that you are a personal branding expert, work your work, right? Like, what are you doing every single day that qualifies you to teach on what you're teaching on? Do you walk your talk? When you know your shit and you actually do your own work, you step into an authority unlike any other, right? You walk into a room like you own the place because you do, not from a place of cockiness or overcompensation, but from a place of nothing to prove and no one to impress. You know your work because you've done the work. You know yourself because you've done the work, right? And then you know what you are qualified in because you can tangibly look and say, this is how I'm qualified. This is why I'm the only person to do this in the way that I do this. This is what I got to bring to the table. And so when you show up with full confidence because you know your shit and you know yourself. Number 2 tip for you guys, social media consent. This is a practice that I preach on and teach on and I love. And social media consent is pretty much the premise that you are in full control of your social media platform. So if you are really concerned about how other people see your stuff on social media, or if someone's going to disagree with you, or if someone's not going to really like what you post in some way or something like that, and they're going to cause a riot or something, or maybe you're posting on something that's quite provocative in your family and your family just doesn't get it and you're really concerned with that, or maybe you're scared that someone from high school is going to unfollow you or something like that, I want to share something really powerful with you. This is something that I tell my clients and I speak a lot on, and it's social media consent. And so the premise of social media consent is that people consent to following you. No one's being forced into following you. You get to look at your timeline and you get to say, what am I consenting to? Like, I'm consenting to following all these people, and it goes both ways. So my mindset is that when someone follows me on social media, they are consenting to all of me. My social media platform is my stage. It's my space to share my work. It's my space to share my thoughts, my beliefs, everything that I have to offer. It's my space to showcase my work. My social media is a channel in which my ideal clients, they come to my social media and they're like, ooh, this one, I like her. They swipe right on me. Then we go on our first date, which is like going through my content, right? They're like, ooh, I like her. I'm getting to know her. And then they fall madly in love with my work because they've had that repetition in their timeline. And then they're like, I'm going to put a ring on it. Okay. And that's when they hire me. So my social media platform is not necessarily a place just to tell you what type of toast I had for lunch. It, for me, is a complete expression of my soul through my brand. It is me living my best life, showcasing what I have to offer, sharing my work, and then allowing people in on that experience. And when they consent to following you, they are consenting to all of you, which means that you do not have to be concerned with, oh my God, what if I pivot my brand? Oh my God, what if I post on this thing? Oh my gosh, like what if I post something scandalous, right? You are in full control of your social media platform. And as a leader, it is your job to lead that social media platform where you want it to go and have people follow you. Which brings us to our last point, is social media authority, yo. When you have all those two steps in place, it's easier to claim your authority over your social media because you start to understand that your social media is your space to share your work. When you know why you're posting, when you know why you're showing up, when you know your shit and you know yourself, and you stop being so attached to what other people's perceptions of your social media are going to be, you can start to step into this role as a leader where you're like, I have stuff to say. It doesn't matter how many times you're posting a day. It doesn't matter how many times you're showing up and sharing about the same stuff, but in different ways. It's like you are here for the people who need your work. And when you do that, it's like you always have a mic in hand. You can always step on that stage, which is your social media, and share your gifts with the world. Okay? So I hope that helped you guys. I love you guys so much. Kick ass, take names, change the world. You're fabulous. Stop being so secretive about it. If you have a cue that you want me to go ahead and slide into my DMs on any social media at Dani Druso, or you can email me, Dani@DanielleDruso.com. Okay, later gators. Bye.